Hi everyone, and welcome to SewQuester. If you don't know me, my name is Daniela Stout and I own Cozy Creative Center, a quilt shop and sewing center in El Cajon. I also own Cozy Quilt Designs and we do strip patterns. With this SewQuester going on, I thought it would be kind of fun if we release the strip clip pattern for April in steps to you free, so you can have a stash busting, boredom busting pattern to work on in your sewing room. So today I'm going to bring you the first step in making this pattern. It's going to be a job. You're going to have to go through your sewing room and collect fabric. I have the fabric requirements listed on our web page. The link is down below, and it'll give you more information on what you need to collect. As with most of our strip patterns, we write it in different sizes, so you can pick the size that you'd like to make and start and work from there. It will start with 2.5 inch strips, but this pattern is a great stash buster because you can also use fat quarters, or if you're starting from scraps, you can collect various fabrics that are 2.5 inch by 20. So you don't actually have to start with strips. You can create your own as long as you're 20 inches long, which is about a half a strip. And so I'll use the terminology half the strip through the whole presentation. In a little bit, I'm going to tell you about what sort of fabrics you should pull and give you some advice on what to look for. But I want to give you an update on what's going on at Cozy Creative Center. As I mentioned, we are a quilt shop and sewing center in El Cajon. And just last week, we were given the order that all non-essential businesses should close their doors. I was convinced, or some of my customers were trying to convince me that we are essential, but still our doors are closed for a little while. CozyQuilt.com still remains open and active for as long as we can, and that's where you can get step 1 of this download. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be releasing a step at a time. I think there'll be a total of 5 or 6 steps, and each day you have to go and get the PDF on our website. At the end, you'll have all the complete instructions. I'll have it up only for a short time, and then I'm going to take it down. So it's my gift to you, because eventually we will release this as a real pattern. We'll see when and how and all of those details. It'll all unfold. But for today, your job is to go into your sewing room and collect a bunch of print fabrics, 2.5 inches wide, and some background fabric, and we're going to get started. Okay? Ready? Go. Okay, you guys, let's talk a little bit about what fabric you want for this project. This project will work best on fabrics that are have really distinct contrast between the strips and the background fabric. What I have here is a wonderful collection that has a little metallic in it, so it's got a little shimmer. Do you see that? This was a jelly roll, and we're turning it. It's a fabric collection by Wyndham. It's fantastic. We loved it as soon as it came through the door, and we thought it'd be terrific for this project. So we are starting with a jelly roll for ours. You guys can use scraps. It is scrap friendly, I promise. But the biggest thing you need to do is make sure that there's contrast at every point of the strip and your background fabric. Here we picked a great crisp white fabric to use as contrast to the strips. If there was white in any of these strips, the quilt pattern, the quilt when you're done, would look like it has holes in it because that white will appear through the strips. Some of the patterns we do, that's forgiving and kind of nice. In this one, you really do want to have the distinction between the strips and the background fabric. So here's another example of some fabrics. I have collected this from a stash that I had. This was a fabric collection I made with Timeless Treasures a little while ago. And they're all beautifully cut into 2.5 inch strips already, so that would be terrific. This is the fabric I would probably select as the background fabric. And this is one of the 2.5 inch prints that are already pre-cut, as is this, and that, and this, and these. This fabric is the same as the background fabric, so I certainly would not use it as one of the print fabrics. This fabric is a beautiful contrast to the background fabric, as are the 3 below. The question is about this fabric. While it does have contrast to this, it's not striking. And we will be making, we will have pieces that will finish 2.5 inches square, and we'll also have 2.5 inch half square triangles in here. So if you take a half square triangle, let's say we were to cut this. Hold on, I have something to show what that looks like. So let's say we make a half square triangle that is half this and half this. It really doesn't have the pop. Because it doesn't have the pop against this, I am going to say that this one is going to be used for another project down the road. That mythical project that will happen one day down the road. Notice that I have here, I've collected my strip tube ruler. Oh, this is fun. I'll tell you why this is fun in just a second. Strip tube ruler is a creation of Cozy Quilt Designs. It's something my mom suggested we do very early on when we were doing this tube technique. She suggested it one night and I said, really? I don't know that anyone would buy it. The next day, I had a customer say to me, hey, you should make a ruler. It might make this easier. So like a good daughter, I listened to the customer and didn't listen to my mom, but in the end, she was right. So here's the strip tube ruler, and we will be making our blocks, some of our piecework with the strip tube ruler. Strip tube Junior is better, but honestly, I can't find mine in my sewing room, so I'll be doing a hunt for that while you guys are collecting your fabric and I work on the next video. What's really fun about this ruler, see how they're all solid lines? So this was one of the original rulers we ever made. I do have a spare. Oh, this is also double lines. So I have two of the original rulers. The newer rulers, the half marks, so between the two whole numbers, this half line is dashed. That's why this one is so much fun. So I have the original rulers in my sewing room. Can't find Junior, but I can find two originals. So here's the information. I will also be posting this on as a PDF on our website, so you can download this and print this. But for those who like to work off of the YouTube video, here's the information of what you will need to get started on your SewQuester project. Notice that there are print strips that you need, and they're highlighted in yellow. And then we have background fabric. We will also need an accent, setting border 1 and border 2. I have broken it up, so if you have fat quarters, you can pull your fat quarters. And as I mentioned in the beginning part of this video, you can also use half strips just created out of your stash. For the smaller sizes, it's great to have as many different fabrics as possible, so 8 half strips is actually perfect, much better than 4 different full strips. If there are 8 different half strips, you're going to get much more variety. Going back to the fabrics that I selected, we also need an accent fabric. And our accent fabric will be a pretty blue, which I actually don't have here just yet. So I'll show you that in the next step. But you will be needing an accent fabric, which is just a little pop of color. It doesn't have to be much different than your others. It won't define the pattern, but it will be used throughout the quilt. So I noticed in the first part of the video, it's backwards. So in case you were wondering what it said, it's the sign that I have in my room. It says, "Be happy," because this room is my happy room. It saddens me that I'm not broadcasting from Cozy Creative Center. This is where I usually do my broadcasting. But here I give you a sneak peek into what my sewing room looks like. That little frog is my eyeglass holder. And while I'm not a frog person per se, that frog just makes me happy, which of course why it goes into my happy place. And I've used it for a lot of our Instagram pictures just to put a little trademark. So that little frog with my glasses on it has kind of become my trademark. The speaker, because you gotta have music when you sew. So during this strange time, you guys, I'm going to rely on you guys and social media and our Facebook page and Instagram to see what you guys are doing. So please post, update, keep me in the loop. This is my first day of SewQuester, so I'm starting to realize that it can get pretty lonely, it can get pretty sad, but we're going to keep busy and we're going to keep active. And I hope that you participate with us and you have a good time in our first ever SewQuester 2020. So make your comments in the links below. If you like this or you like our videos, please subscribe and especially hit that notification button so that when we come out with step 2, you will get notified and you'll know where to go get the link so you can download step 2 of the PDF. All right, so this time now, really, on your mark, get set, go pull your fabrics. See you next time. Bye.